Yeah. So, who among us is naturally liberal? Now, men are not born natural. They're not naturally liberal. Only at first, when they're younger, when they're kind of like, they kind of follow what society's doing, when they're trying to mimic society. So at first, men are trying to mimic society. They're trying to follow society's rules. They're struggling hard to do that, right? Because men want to fit in with society. Mainly, men want to fit into society so they can get pussy and cash. Okay, that's the only reason. If they don't have that incentive, then they'll go their own way and do their own thing. But most men sell out their lives to get pussy and money. All right, in general, on the main. Men are not naturally followers and they're not naturally communists or liberals. They're not naturally like that. Men would only sell their souls to get pussy and cash. That's it. Gold and pussy. That's all. Pussy, poo-tang, and tits and money. That's why they would vote Biden or Democrat or something, you know? Now, men would temper their testosterone to get money and pussy, and to get into the divine fulcrum. That's why they would sell their souls. So to get in there, and they could reproduce their genetic structure, and then they could de facto. You don't really live forever if you have 4 kids, but the likelihood that your name would go into the future, hundreds of years, it increases the more children you have. So that's why I meant to do this bargain. It's the main reason. Most women are natural liberals because they don't have testosterone, which is a combative chemical in male psyche. It's a warlike chemical, right? So women, when they're in trouble with their estrogen, they're more likely to call the police, call for help. Hey, I'm a maiden damsel in distress, right? A man is more likely to fight because he has testosterone. It's just a natural fact. So that's why you have more murders and more wars by men, because we'll just kill people if they get in our way. You know what I mean? Because that's testosterone. It's like, you fuck with me, you're dead. That's testosterone. So estrogen is more like it wants to be diplomatic and conciliatory. And testosterone is more like, you fuck with me, you're gonna die. You're gonna get severely injured, you know, or at least maimed, or you're gonna get crippled or something like that for life. So, yeah. So that's the difference between estrogen and testosterone, right? So testosterone is aggressive, it's predatory, like a shark or a hornet. It's very aggressive. There's only this only situation in nature where females become aggressive is only when their children are at stake. So that's when the mama bear starts mauling people and stuff like that. That's the only situation. Most of the time, the woman is estrogen filled and docile, and it's more follows, goes with the flow of nature and stuff. Only when the female's cubs are threatened does it attack very fiercely, maybe even more fiercely. Only when it's in competition with other females or it's protecting its young does it go into rage mode, when it goes into violence. Like some chew? So men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? Because men want to take over shit. Women want to like go with the flow, kind of. There's guys who are sellouts and they want to go with the flow too. But I'm saying, and there's effeminate dudes and shit. You know what I mean? There's effeminate dudes that care more about their hair than their social status or their societal socioeconomic status. Of course, there's guys that are like, oh my god, my hair is a bad tint. Yeah, there's effeminate dudes out there, for sure, definitely. That was a landmark book, wasn't it? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Yeah, it's kind of a different. It is a different universe. It's different chemicals. It's different hormones. They're not on the really equivocal level. You know, one is the spirit of the conqueror, the fighter, and the other is more like, hey, how can we sell out? That's the women. That's like, how can we sell out? How can we just go along with power? How can we just, why don't rock the boat? Why don't we just go with the flow? That's more women. That's estrogen chemical. It's like, hey, let's just break it up, guys. That's like, guys are like, let's fucking fight. Let's brawl it out. Let's duke it. Let's duke it out. And so that's the difference. At least biochemically, evolutionarily speaking. Generally. Well, the woman with the estrogen chemical, they're meant to raise the baby, so they're meant to be more forgiving and empathetic, emotional, and nurturing to the young. That's their main role in society. That's their biological role, generally speaking. Men, generally speaking, go off to wars in the mud, in the muck. They're usually better, more resilient, robust fighters. Not that you can't have there's lots of females in the military, but men are just better at killing. They just are, because we're naturally inclined to be aggressive and to kill, all right, and defend our homeland and all that. So we're naturally inclined to do that, to play that role. Women in the military, it's cute. It is cute. Societal wise, it's cute. Women in the forces is a cute thing, but head to toe with a man, a big ass fucking man, aggressive man with testosterone, you're gonna be fucking ripped apart 9 times out of 10. I don't care if you got the biggest bull dyke in history. It doesn't matter. That's the problem with trannyism and stuff like that. You can't beat a man. If you're a woman and you transition to a man, you're still not a man. It doesn't matter what technological trickery you've done, you have violated the laws of nature itself. And for that, you're not going to win. That bullshit where the women were getting beaten by the male trannies, that was in women's sports. That's unacceptable, folks. Everybody knows that shit is unacceptable. Everybody knows that that shit is fucking totally unacceptable. That there's a dude beating down your daughters in fucking basketball. Everybody knows that shouldn't be allowed. Almost everybody. Now, what's the incentive for the transsexual? What's the incentive for the tranny that is beating down women? Well, he might get on the cover of Wheaties. He might get an endorsement deal or something. He's thinking, well, if I go with this uber progressive angle, I might get something out of this. You see what I'm saying? So, if you're looking at the modus operandi, which is the telltale sign of any kind of behavior, is the modus operandi. Or you're looking at, in terms of lawyer speak, cui bono, who benefits? Yes, who benefits? It's like, so all of a sudden, let's say there's a whole bunch of brothers and sisters. Most of the brothers and sisters don't talk to the father or the mother, and they're dying, right? And yeah, cui bono. All right. All of a sudden, Aunt Rachel isn't doing so well, right? We'll call her Aunt Rachel. Aunt Rachel is dying. Aunt Rachel also happens to have how much in the bank? $20 million in the bank. Let's lower. Let's say she has 2 or 3 billion in the bank, right?
So breakfast isn't ready. I gotta go.
No, where are you going?
I have to go get my haircut.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Breakfast isn't ready yet. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I forgot it was 2:30. I apologize. It'll be back in the thing, or you can get some. All right, love you. Apologize. I apologize. I love you, Mom. All right, I'll see you later. Okay. All right. Love you. Have a good haircut. So there's cousins and people that haven't talked to this person in years and years and years. You know what I mean? What's up? Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm having a haircut. I apologize. The reference will be here when we get back, or if you come back. Okay, I'll see you here. I love you. All right. So then, for years and years and years and years, no one talked to Aunt Rachel except for, her daughter or something like that. And then when they hear that Aunt Rachel's not well, a lot of the cousins, a lot of the brothers and sisters, they don't show up because, they don't give a shit about Aunt Rachel. But then they might show up to her dying days, try to get in the will, right? Get in the will. Because if they can get in Aunt Rachel's will, then they might have access and favor with that $2 or $3 million, you see. So they come. They come not because they love Aunt Rachel, but they come because they think they might get something out of it. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, people start sniffing around when there's money involved, don't they? They show up when money's involved. They show up like senators and congressmen. They're like, "There's money. Oh my God, there's money." Yeah. They all show up like hungry, like greedy senators when there's money involved. They're like, "Oh crap, I'm cool with Aunt Rachel." All of a sudden, they're Aunt Rachel experts, right? So they're really into Aunt Rachel because Aunt Rachel, they want, she passes, maybe they'll write them down like, oh, when they're old and senile, they're dying of cancer or whatever. They're like, oh, cousin Willis was really nice. Put him down for, 30 grand or something. Oh man. Ah. Ah. So everybody. So there's some packages at the door, right? What the fuck happened to the